For our next program, we're going to be doing 4.3.6, which is Snowman. Now, in this program, we're going to write a program that has Tracy draw a snowman. We need to make sure that our snowman is made of 3 gray circles, so it does specify what color, is sized based off the user input, which means it's going to ask us a question about what radius do we want our circles to be. You should ask the user for the radius at the bottom of the snowman's body. The middle circle should have a radius that is half the bottom, and the top circle should have a radius that is half the middle. So the example being, if the user input is 100, that means the bottom circle is 100, the middle circle is 50, and the top circle is 25. It does give us a couple of hints, though. It would be helpful to draw out a few scenarios based off different user inputs and determine a correlation before coding. Determine where Tracy needs to move in order to get on top of a circle to draw the next one, and be sure to use a function to draw each part of the snowman. So with every program that I do, I always set the speed off at 0 because it does allow me to go a little bit faster. And what I'm going to focus on very first is actually doing the program for our first circle. And we're going to use a parameter in order to do that. So I'm going to call this circle, I'm going to define it as a function, define circle underscore snowman. And inside the parentheses, I'm going to put radius. So that means I'm going to be changing what the radius is. So, well, how do we make a circle? And we need it to be gray, which means the very first thing is I'm going to set my color to gray. Well, then I need it to draw my first circle, and it's going to be filled in. So that's going to begin underscore fill, and then circle whatever the radius is, and then end underscore fill. So if I call this program, before I even call the program, the first thing I have to do is ask the question. And radius is going to equal the integer, because it's going to be a number, open parentheses, input, because I'm asking a question, what radius for base of snowman? Question mark, space, quotation mark, close parentheses, close parentheses. Now, when I run circle underscore snowman, radius, it's going to use whatever answer is there. If I run this program, it's going to ask me for what the base of the circle is. I'm going to say 100. Boom, there is a circle with a radius of 100. Now, we also need to think, okay, where does our snowman need to be? Our snowman actually needs to be all the way at the bottom of our area. So before it even draws the circle, I need to set its position. So its position, since I'm setting its position, that means I need to start off with a pin up here after the question. And then I'm going to set position. I'm not moving left or right. I'm only moving up or down, which means my x coordinate will be 0, but my y coordinate is going to be -200 and down. And I know it's -200 because all the way across is 400, halfway is 200, so that gives me -200. So we're going to test to see if this works. I'm going to run the code. It asks me the radius for the base of the snowman. I'm going to put 25. Boom, there's our first circle. Now, for this program, I don't want it just to do one circle. I want it to be able to stack the snowman circles on top of each other. So to do that, I need to go back up here to my function for a circle snowman radius. And underneath the color, excuse me, underneath the color, I know I'm going to be drawing 3 circles, so I want it to run this program 3 times, which is called a loop. So I'm going to say for I in range 3, and then I'm going to indent all of these over. Now, right now, that just means it's going to draw 3 circles in the exact same place. So right now, Tracy the turtle is at the bottom of the circle. Before Tracy draws the next circle, I need Tracy to be right here at what the top of the circle is. So I'm going to add that to the end of my my loop here. So if it's right here and it's facing to the right, I need it to, first of all, turn left 90. Now it's facing up. Now I need it to move forward. So forward, well, how far do we move forward? I need it to move all the way across the circle. So I can't just specify a number because, yeah, this time the radius was 50, which means if I wanted to move the diameter, that's 100. However, if I put 100 here, and then I tell it to draw the next circle, if I don't put 50, it's not going to work. But what I do know is I always want it to move forward by the diameter of the circle. And the diameter is 2 times the radius. So that's what I'm going to put here. Radius times 2. And I use an asterisk for multiplication. Now, my turtle, Tracy the turtle, should be right here at the top, but it's still facing up, which means I need a right 90. Okay, so I'm going to run this. I'm going to put 100. Okay, well, that did 3 circles, all of 100. So if I do 20, it does 3 circles, all of 20. According to my assignment, it wants to do half of each circle, which means right here after it does 90, I want to take radius and make it equal to whatever my radius was divided by 2. So that way it's going to draw the first circle. So right here is where it's drawing the first circle. Then it's going to get ready to draw the next circle. And then it's going to divide radius by 2, draw the second circle, get to where it needs to be, divide it by 2, draw the third circle, get to where it needs to be, divide it by 2. But at that time, it's already drawn its 3 circles, so the program has ended. So let's see what the output looks like. I'm going to run. I'm going to say 100. And sure enough, there's my snowman. And it looks just like my result world. Now, to really test this, I need to be able to try different numbers. Let's try 75. Yep, I still have a snowman. Let me try 200. Well, that's kind of the whole diameter of our circle, so we only see the base of our snowman. So I need to go smaller. Let's try 125. There we go. Now for the real test, let's go to check code. There we go, 8 out of 8. I have a function in my code, which is circle snowman. My function, I called my function in my program, which is right there. I should get an input from the user. That's where it's asking the question, and I get the variable radius. You should use user input to be used as a number, which I did. That's my parameter right there. The variable given by the user should control the size of the circle, which again is my parameter. I have 3 circles. Your circle should be colored gray, and the 3 circles should shrink by half, which is what I did right there. So I was able to meet all of my goals, get all of my green checks. And again, if I had forgotten how to do something, I do have this documentation here over to the right that does kind of run through some of the things that I might be forgetting. And I can click this little arrow right here, and it takes me to a lot more documentation separated to really help me find the things that I might be losing. So this is 4.3.6 Snowman.